Welcome back to the official podcast home of the Association for Materials Protection and Performance. I'm Ben Dubose, news editor with the AMP publications team. AMP, of course, is the shorthand acronym for the association. And as far as the publications, we've got three distinct brands and outlets. That's CoatingsPro magazine, Materials Performance magazine, and Corrosion Journal. All are housed within our publications group. As far as AMP, the big story for us is that we recently wrapped up the 2026 AMP Annual Conference and Expo. Held in late March in Houston, it was a record-setting show with more than 6,300 attendees and over 350 exhibitors, including 72 exhibitors that were brand new and also 13 new sponsors. Houston is home to one of AMP's global headquarters, so we were absolutely thrilled to be able to welcome so many people to our backyard. And then as far as AMP publications, one of the brand new offerings for us at this year's conference was our AMP Media Studio. It was basically a recording studio inside the larger AMP booth at the exhibit hall. And so what we did there, we brought in and interviewed a handful of leaders within both the association as well as the broader industries and markets that we serve. Topics of discussion included highlights of the show, industry trends, feedback from the market, as well as a few random things that are unique to each person's background. So throughout the month of April, what we're doing here on this channel is playing back those one-on-one exclusive interviews that we taped from the show. We may also use some of those quotes in future articles within our print publications or on the websites, so please stay tuned for that. But the first step is publishing the interviews and letting you all take a listen, and so that's what we're doing right now. Let's roll the tape. Ben Dubose, news editor, AMP Media. Happy to be joined at the 2026 AMP Annual Conference and Expo by Michael Black. He's the Vice President of Service and Maintenance at Sutter Roofing, and I'm happy to reveal Sutter Roofing actually just won first place in the commercial roofing category in the 2026 CoatingsPro Contractor Award. Michael, first off, congratulations. How's it feel to be a winner?
Feels great. It feels great. This was a good project and a little bit special for me because a lot of people don't know that 24 years ago, I actually installed this roof that we did this coating job on back when I was out in the field as a roofer.
Oh, wow.
So to be able to actually install a roof system with your hands and then go back 24 years later and have a chance to restore it is something that's quite special in your career.
So let's back up a little bit. Which project was this? Walk us through the timeline and some of the challenges.
So this was the Van Riesel Performing Arts Center in Sarasota, Florida. It was a project that originally went out to bid for painting because the roof was originally installed 24 years ago with a purple PVC membrane, and the membrane has failed. Even though the roof was still performing well without any leaks, the membrane has faded, and the city of Sarasota wanted to bring back that purple color and that vibrance to it. So it originally went out for a paint contract, and then we kind of heard about it and asked the question, well, what happens if you have leaks? So the painter's going to take care of the leaks. And it came back, well, no, because they're just painting it. So we actually were able to get the coating put in the specification, and it went out to rebid. And we finally were awarded the bid in early of 2024.
And then in terms of the actual application, what months were you out there? How long did this take?
Well, we originally were supposed to start in September, but in 2024, Florida experienced 3 hurricanes in 90 days.
Right. That's right.
So we couldn't start in September due to the hurricane. So we got pushed to October, and we just started with the building and got the pressure washing done. And here came the second hurricane. So we had to completely shut down because this building is right on the water. It's right on Sarasota Bay. So we had to completely shut down the job site, went through the hurricane. When we went back to remobilize, we got up on the roof and found sand stuck all over the roof from the hurricane that blew over from the beach. So we had to then again repressure wash it, start all over again. And we went another 4 weeks and got hit with hurricane number 3. So we completely had to shut down again, went through the hurricane. Only this time there was more of a wind event, and the building itself sustained some sheet metal damage. So we were awarded not only the coating job, but we were awarded the sheet metal repair. So after we finished the coating of the roof, we had to do the sheet metal repairs, which was difficult because it was 100 feet up in the air and everything had to be done off a crane with a man basket and able to reach it. But we finally finished up in December of 2024.
Okay. And what type of coatings was it?
So we went with Geico. It was a Geico A47, I believe. It was an acrylic coating on the actual, we're going to call it the clamshell. When you see the building, it looks like an upside down clamshell. So on the 712 slopes, we went with the acrylic, and in the low slope flat roofs at the base of it, we went with the silicone.
And once you actually had a working window that lasted more than a few days, was the application fairly straightforward? It sounds like the biggest challenge was just, obviously the hurricanes, demobilizing, remobilizing. Was the application itself pretty straightforward, or did you encounter anything challenging there?
No, actually, the biggest challenge was because of the steep slope of the roof and the slipperiness of the PVC membrane. We had to have repelling gear on. Okay. So we had a power wash with repelling gear. The equipment all had to be tied off, and we did the whole entire project on the 7, 8, 12 slope, all with repelling gear. So that was probably the most challenging thing, was actually pressure washing and then going back and using the spray rigs and spray applying the coating.
And how important is it for you guys to maintain, good relationships with, you mentioned Geico as a manufacturer. Obviously, there's equipment manufacturers that you use, because obviously, a coating is only as good as the way it's applied in the field. How do you guys, you're based in Florida, right?
Yes.
How do you guys maintain those relationships to where you're up to date on the best ways to apply these coatings and these materials?
Well, the most important thing for us, as far as Sutter Roofing, we've been around since 1902. We're fifth family generation, and name's everything to us. So when a coating job goes bad, they don't say that manufacturer did a bad job. They don't say that roof equipment did a bad job. They say that roofer did a bad job. So we make sure we partner with the best in the industry, because we have our name and our reputation on it as the final stamp. So we go with people who we can trust. We build relationships. Our rep down in Florida with Graco, we have a 20-year relationship with him, and it's been a great relationship, and it's somebody we can trust. So we bring people like that in on projects like this.
Yep.
The equipment manufacturer was Graco, not Geico, Graco. And we have a long standing. We use all their equipment. We have a great relationship with the reps in Florida, and we use them because they stand behind what they sell, and we can stand behind that with our clients.
Yep. And of course, that's a big part of what trade show season is about, going out and making those relationships, maintaining them to where you're comfortable with these people if there are any questions. Sounds like in this one, once you had the working window, it was fairly straightforward. You guys got it done, and obviously you ended up winning first place. In terms of an award like this and just general recognition, how important is it to you guys as an installer that you get that kind of third-party validation that your processes, your choices were in fact the right ones? Like, it's got to mean something to you, right?
Oh, this is a great feeling. That's why I chose to come out here in person to get this award, because it means something. I'm proud of the team, the people, the work that was put into this, and everything they've done. The whole entire team was so proud of them. It couldn't happen without them. And to be able to come back to Florida and show them that they won an award first place. And this just ain't a small award. This is a national award. We beat out 3 other major contractors in doing this. So it's something pretty special, and it's something that we're going to be pretty proud of. And I can't wait to get back and show the guys what they got.
And there's a big focus on workforce development at this particular conference. We're in the AMP booth, where if you look over there, you can see the Talent Force. That's the new initiative that AMP is rolling out to assist in some of the workforce development challenges. How useful is it for you guys? You mentioned being able to show that award to your guys. When we talk about, staff retention or recruitment for that matter, obviously compensation is the biggest thing, but everybody knows that. There's also got to be something beyond compensation, something that makes them feel valued, important, to make them, attracted to this industry and then want to stay in this industry. Is that sort of what you see the role of awards like this as being, something that can sort of help with the whole, in some small way, I guess, with some of the workforce development?
Oh, it absolutely is. I mean, again, us being a family-owned 5th-generation company, it's all about family and creating that atmosphere where it's just not a job where you come to work and you're an employee. You're part of a team. You're part of something special. And when you win awards like this, we're going to market it. We're going to let everybody know we won it, because we want people to be a part of a winning team.
Yep.
We want people to be able to drive by and say, yeah, I work for the company that did that project, So it's a sense of pride, and it's very important to let everybody know, and especially potential workers, that, hey, you're not just going to work for any roofing company or contractor. You're coming to work with a winner, somebody who cares about their work and shows it off.
Yeah, absolutely. I should mention, we'll put the link to the case study that we're talking about in the summary of this. You can also search for it at CoatingsProMag.com for more background information on this project. Michael, before we let you go, Houston, Florida, this is, still your Gulf Coast base, if you will. What's unique about, besides hurricanes, what's unique about jobs in those conditions? Obviously, we're going into the spring and summer seasons, weather's, it's about to heat up in a hurry. You're going to have a lot of thunderstorms. When you're working in these types of conditions, I guess not literally this week because we just got a cold front, but normally, what's on the agenda for you guys as you try to make sure that your crews are ready to go?
Well, this is our dry season in Florida. Basically, December through May is our dry season, so it's the best time to do roof coatings. And then October through December, it's not as rainy as the summer months. So what we prepare for now is right now we're out there and we're trying to get as much coating and work done as we can. But then when the summer times get, it rains 3 or 4 times a day off and on. So it's a lot of preparing and planning and watching the weather and make sure you got your scheduling down. But the weather's actually, it's beautiful. Like I said, in between the 3 hurricanes, we had perfect, beautiful weather, 80 degrees, clear skies. But then, unfortunately, every 4 weeks, we got a hurricane.
Yeah. I'm based in Houston, so I've watched some occasional, Astro spring training games out in Florida. It's looked nice the last few weeks.
Yes.
A couple of exceptions, but it's mostly very good.
It's a great state to do work in. It's challenging. Indeed, it is challenging with the weather, but once you get used to it, you learn how to adapt. You start a little bit early in the morning to beat the afternoon showers. There's things you do to adapt to it, and that's what makes the challenge rewarding and good to work there.
Yep. Well, see, it's Michael Black. What's your title again? Remind me.
I'm the Vice President of Service and Maintenance.
That's right, at Sutter Roofing Company in Florida.
Yes, sir.
Michael, congratulations again on your award. Thank you for stopping by.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
All right, that will do it for this interview from the 2026 AMP Annual Conference and Expo. But please stay tuned throughout the month of April because we've got quite a few of these that we're going to be debuting on our AMP and CoatingsPro podcast channels. Our hope is that the information and insights from these conversations will ultimately benefit our readers, association members, and the industry as a whole. And beyond the podcast channels, don't forget to check out our print publications, our social media pages, and our websites for CoatingsPro Magazine, Materials Performance Magazine, and Corrosion Journal. All of those brands are housed within our AMP Publications family, and we'll have lots of great exclusive content from the show coming out in the days and weeks ahead. Just stick with us, and we'll have more to come. Anyway, that will do it for today. On behalf of our entire editorial team, I'm Ben Dubose, news editor for the AMP Publications Group. We appreciate you so much for checking out this interview, and please come back soon for more exclusive coverage of the 2026 AMP Annual Conference and Expo.